Hello and welcome to Keep Hope Alive. We have another great show for you. I got Miss Teresa Ramirez here with us. She's award-winning best-selling author, motivational speaker. And you know what? We're going to get ready to change that world with her too.
Mhm.
So I'm excited. Thank you for coming on to Keep Hope Alive. So can't wait to hear your story. But I was like, I'm not letting you
But
talk.
first,
But no, go ahead.
no, I was just going to say thank you for having me.
You are so welcome. So, really quick before we get started, random question, like squirrel moment here. How many weddings have you been to in, let's say, the past year?
One.
One. Okay. So when you go to a wedding and you're walking in, maybe it's a church or, something, you're walking in, there is something to sign to let the bride and groom know that you were there. What are you signing?
Um, at that wedding, we normally sign the registration book that says, "Hey, we were here." But that wedding, they wanted us to sign a big whiteboard and put well wishes, not just sign,
Yay.
but add well wishes.
That is so cool. I see a lot of that, or I see Jenga pieces. One of my sponsors is named Life on Record. And what they do is they have a vintage rotary phone sitting out there that your guests can pick up. And there is a QR code right next to it. So if you don't want to stand in the line, your guests can actually scan this too. But you can leave them a 1 minute, 5 minute, 30 minute. Well, if it's a wedding, don't do 30 minutes recording. Say, congratulations on your wedding. You guys are such a cute couple. Many years of happiness. Or, hey, dude, it's about time you put that ring on her finger. I've been waiting and waiting and waiting, and we got to have this party right now. So they can leave any kind of message, and this really goes for like any kind of event too. So I just don't want to cater it fully to weddings. But
Mhm.
with all these messages, they'll burn it on a 12-inch vinyl record, or they have a keepsake speaker that is really adorable. So, like, it's a year later and you're sitting back enjoying your 1 year anniversary, you get to hear all your friends and family voices. So, it's so cool. I love it. So their plans start at $99 for the year. You do get that phone number for 1 year, which is really cool. So visit them at www.lifeonrecord.com. All right. So Teresa, I love your hair, by the way. I love
Oh, thank
that
you.
color. I
Thank you.
used to
Thank you.
be I used to be redhead in 2017, and so funny, all my grays were coming through. So I was like, I'm going blonde to hide them. And I was like, no, I can still see in my video. They're coming in. I was like, I'm going to just embrace life and let these grays just fly through. So, but yes, I'm so glad to have you on. It sounds like your journey in life has just been so well thought out and planned. And you know what? Who is Teresa?
Well, I have grown children, and I'm unlike you. I fight the grays every step of the way, and they're colors.
I
And
wish I could do that.
I said I do. I wish I could just let go and say, "Oh, don't worry about it." But I really like my red. So, um,
Oh,
but I have my kids are gone. I have a dog and a cat who make keep life interesting. And I love hiking and kayaking. And when I'm not doing that, I am trying to spread kindness wherever I go.
good. I'm glad to hear that because I think that's our mission in life is to spread the kindness, the love, the joy, and the hope. And every time I go out, I'm hearing a new story from somebody. I may not even be talking directly, but I can hear them saying, "Oh, I got this issue," and da 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 da. And there's parts of me that go, "Should I just tell them I have a podcast and a series on this that they can listen to?" Yeah. So that's the one thing they have an app called Linktree. And with every episode I have done, I can go up to somebody and go, I think you would like this one. What's your phone number? I'm going to send you my link. So there's different stories to be heard and spreading awareness and stuff. So how do you do that?
Well, I can give you an example of one way. Listening is huge. Listening is probably one of the kindest things we can do. And I mean, really active listening. So that always helps. But you say you get stopped somewhere. I walk my dog in the park every day. And I was going up the steps, and this woman was going down the steps, and she said, "Oh my gosh, can I please pet your dog?" And I was like, "Oh, sure. You're the fifth person today, but okay." And here she proceeds to sit down on the steps. The dog, of course, she plays into this, jumps in her lap, and the woman just starts petting her. And then you just see these tears. And I was like, "Oh, I didn't bargain for this." And here she starts talking. She lost her husband 6 months ago. She just lost her beloved dog a month ago. How terribly lonely she is. And she's going on and on. And I'm just sitting there going, uh-huh, uh-huh. I, I just was so blindsided, but I just listened to her and I let her pet my dog. And I think that's all she wanted. And when
It's
she was done, she just stood up, wiped her tears, and just said, "You have no idea what you did for me," and walked off. And I'm still sitting there, stunned, going, "What just happened?"
You're an angel in disguise. That's what happened. I'm gonna tell you that. Sometimes that's all it takes is active listening to help somebody out. I mean, those tears came flowing. They're gone. Like
Yeah.
when we go through that, once we have a good cry, and I hope like one thing I noticed when we sleep that night and wake up the next morning, it's a little bit better. And then the next day is a little bit better. And it's just
Absolutely.
kind of like, yeah, I was just, it's so amazing how it works. But I understand when you get built up and you've just got to release that, I call it pure
Mhm.
energy. And of course, we don't want to bottle up and,
Right.
store it for later. We need to let it out right in there. But you know what? Your dog and you are the biggest therapy for her. And that's amazing.
It
So,
was. It
yeah.
was an
So
incredible experience.
it
Um,
is. It is. And it makes you feel super good about yourself too. And then you're going to start noticing it's going to happen more and more and more to you.
yes, it does. And when you're making just something small like that really all it did was take some time, no big deal. Doesn't cost anything to be kind. And when you're doing this in your everyday activities, you end up making it as natural as breathing. And the next thing you know, like you said, stuff shows up all the time. And I had a gentleman, he was so cute. He retired, didn't know what to do. And so he just went to be a parking garage attendant. He said it's the
Mhm.
best job he's ever had. He's in his
See?
70s. And but what it was funny about it, he said, was I went on vacation for 2 weeks. When I came back, his regular parkers kept saying, "Gosh, I missed your smile and your good morning. My days have been awful the last 2 weeks without your smile and your good morning." And the guy said, "I had no idea that I had that impact because it was each customer." He said it was one right after the other. And it wasn't until he said, "You kindness lady, you told me." And he said, "I didn't realize how impactful that just a smile is until my customers told me." So
Yep.
it doesn't take much.
It doesn't. It doesn't. And they need that. I remember, well, the company I work for, I love to death, and they're well known in Allen,
Mhm.
but it's the shirt, it's the logo. And I remember I was at a local grocery store, and because they're family owned, I thought it was cute because they were like, "Are you the daughter?" And I was like, "Nope." And they were like, but she came out of the store kind of like maybe it was she wanted to. I was going to my car and she's like, "Have a good day." And you know what? It was that little thing. She took extra steps. She got outside to even say bye to me. But it brought a smile to my face because you don't see that many people actually going out of their way to show kindness. And it's very important in today's world.
It it is so important. And I was going to say, and some people say, "Well, that's just fluffy stuff." And I said, "No, there's actually scientific studies behind it that if you and I exchanged an act of kindness, your serotonin levels would go up and so do mine." And serotonin
Yes.
they're your happy hormones. So you and I are happy. And but the fascinating thing I have always said is that anyone who observes that act of kindness, their serotonin levels also go up.
I
So
see
it's just you
that.
spread it and we didn't even know it.
I love it because I know like when I work trade shows, I will always have that positive vibe energy. And it was funny because it was yesterday, had somebody come by, he's like, your energy level is really good. I don't want to leave. And I was like, it made me feel good, but also I was like, what do I tell my boss that I have like really high vibes here? I was just like, but, I was like, "Sir, can I sell you ABCD or, come and do this for inspection?" And, it was just funny. He's like, "I don't need anything." I was just like, "Okay." But it's funny because I'll get that a whole lot. And I think sometimes also being in customer service, they can pick up on that energy level too.
Mhm.
For me, I never try to sound like anything robotic. I have the best intentions in my heart. I want to put that out there. I
Yeah.
remember another lady was like, are you a robot? Like, I was like, last time I checked, no, but I'm here. I'm human. you know, I had to laugh because it's so fun. I love that, we're able to talk to people, help them, but we get to use those levels of our energy to show that we care, that we're here, they're
Yeah,
being listened to and heard.
absolutely.
Yep, all that.
Yeah. Yeah. And it doesn't take, like I said, it's so simple and people try to complicate it and it's not.
It's not. It really isn't. So, are you much into pay it forwards? I was when I was
Always.
younger. I still do it every now and then. I remember I did when I first started this podcast. I did a pay it forward one. I had a really good one. I've been doing it. Usually, it was at grocery stores, gas stations, Starbucks, and McDonald's. I would always do a pay it forward. But there was one time my baby boy was born. He was in the carrier. I had my camera on me, and I was on the third floor of the aquarium. And I stupidly, literally take these glasses, well, not these. I put it in my shirt like this. I pulled my camera up and I was zooming in on the monkey. And my brother's standing next to me and he goes, I hope you got the monkey. Where's your glasses? I'm like, what do you mean? And I was like, and I'm looking down. They had fell at the bottom of the aquarium. And I didn't have any health insurance. I went for a good, I think it was 6 months without glasses. But all that mattered was the kids and everything. And back in the day, they tore it down. It's really sad. Collin Creek Mall, I was walking and I walked into one I got last place. You know how they have the doctor there.
Mhm.
Nobody could have heard anything I said. I was the only one in there. They're like, it's $69 for the visit. I was like, okay, I'll just come back when I have the money to do it. And then I was pushing the stroller out. We're in the middle, like walking, and there's that whole area to buy glasses and stuff. And my daughter was with me, and we're just, getting to the other side. And this lady comes running out. Hey, are you a single mom? And I was like, yeah. And she goes, God is telling me to talk to you. I got to finish up. Don't go anywhere. And my daughter's like, what's happening? And I go, pay it forward, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. But I go, should we wait? And so we did. She ended up she said when she came out, do you need glasses? I had extra pair. I got 300. I want you to have 300. So I went back in to see if that company could take me, and they couldn't. So on the other end, there was another doctor's office, and they took me. I was in tears. I was like, I'm going to be able
Oh
to see
my
again.
gosh.
Like, this is amazing. But that doctor knew what had just happened, and he did my daughter's eyes for free. Got my daughter glasses, and he goes, this is your second pay it forward of the day. And you talk about when you're helping people and just listening
Mhm.
and hearing, yeah, it really does work.
It does. It does. And you were shocked, weren't you? You were surprised that somebody was being kind to you because that happened to me only, it was a coffee. And, I always buy the person behind me coffee all the time.
Yeah.
And I was shocked when, oh, they took care of yours. And I'm like, what? Where? Who? Me? And I was like,
Oh, that's
why are we
awesome.
so surprised that somebody's kind to us? I still ask that question because we shouldn't be.
Yeah, we shouldn't be. It's like I was with a group, like a meetup group, and some people bought it was like five ladies, all our meals. But it's I paid for mine in advance, and so I wasn't covered. And I'm like, wait, can we rewind this? It was like but I thought it was very nice and very kind. And I just have learned to say thank you. That is very important. Just like for me, I used to get away after I did a pay it forward. I remember one lady followed on me on the highway, and she's like, and it was a cup of coffee. That's all I bought. But she went out of the way to follow me down to make sure, and she had the time. I didn't think that one through too fast because if it's already paid for, she gets to go, right? And they're just handing her the coffee.
Chasing her
But
down.
I know that was many, many, many years ago. But here we are living in this world. And I think it's come to my knowledge that with listening and being heard and understanding what somebody goes through is the most important. And that's how we learn. And that's how we build on our path and foundation to help people too. So,
Now, I was just thinking, personal pain is so unique. It's as unique as a fingerprint, and you
yeah.
just never know what somebody's going through. And so you should always be kind.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, depression, chronic pain,
Okay.
all that is hidden. I
Yes.
saw a reel today. It's like people will see, oh, how many awards did they get, or what's the relationship status? And maybe it was talking about Facebook or social media. You always see this top layer, but you don't know all the bills they're paying, or
Hmm.
if they had a really bad breakup, or just whatever it is. So, but you got to keep that in mind. That
Yeah.
is there. There
Hmm.
yeah, well, let's
Yeah.
just put it where it is. It's like, how are you really doing today? That makes me feel good when I hear
Yes.
that.
Yes.
I washed my cell phone yesterday in the washer. I had a little fender bender and I almost ran into a washer on the highway. What else? There was a tree in the road. And then I got two bad news. And when I went to T-Mobile, they were like, well, how is your day, ma'am? I was like, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. They're like, come right now. We're going to get you all set up. And I was like, it was a great experience. And it was so funny because my car broke the week down before. So I had to get a new car, but it seems like everybody has a black SUV. So I was like, why are my keys not working? And I'm like trying to get my door on. And you stupid me. I gotta say this out loud. Stupid me. I put my bag on top of the car and I put my purse there. And I'm like trying to get in. And I was like, why is the head chain like around the thing different? I was like, oh my gosh. And T-Mobile has all the see-through windows. I'm like, oh my gosh. It's not happening. But I got my purse and I was like, I looked at the window. I was like, sorry. I don't know, but it would be a funny video, right? A
Would
TikTok
be
video.
hilarious. I had a friend I used to work with, and he had gone into a client, came out, didn't see his car anywhere. Looked everywhere, looked through at all the cars, couldn't find it, couldn't find it. So he called the cops. My car's been stolen. Well, he was on the other side of the building, and his car was where it was supposed to be. And here the cops found it. It was, you talk about embarrassing moments. That was one for him. It was hilarious. Just, my car's been stolen. Well, now it's over there.
Somebody told me about a happy face method yesterday, and it really worked for them because I do this. I'm going to put this in a safe place, but I lose it. And that was my new Apple Watch. And I spent a month now every day sitting like, where did I put it? It's not in my boxes in the garage. It's not under my bed. It's in none of the cabinets. And I need one. And I was like, I told them they're like, because I have a bundle packet at T-Mobile, go just add another one. And they're like, okay, ma'am. And I was like, knowing my luck, I'm gonna come home and find that watch. And my son's like, then what? I go, then it's yours. I was like, that's a story. So I think it's funny. I was like, he's really going to go looking for it now, too. But I was like, is this a sign of us getting older? Like, we're getting all forgetful and stuff.
You know it
But
was there somewhere.
I know, right? It has to be. Well, tell us about your journey. What's going on? Like, so you're helping people in the world. Did you
Yes.
write any books?
Yeah, I did write because my focus is actually on parents. And I did
Good.
write Raising Kind Children. And
Good.
it's quick.
Good. Good.
It's a quick, I made it a quick read for busy parents. And it's just a simple process on how to incorporate kindness into your family.
Yes.
And then when you leave the house, you're going to spread that kindness when you go out. And there's little tips, suggestions, easy day-to-day stuff. Going to the grocery store. Everybody goes to the grocery store.
Yes.
This is what you can do.
Mhm.
Here are some things you can do at the school. Here are things if you wanted to graduate to last week, there was philanthropy day. And that's where you bring your friends, neighbors, community together to form some kind of act of kindness.
Interesting. That's
Yeah. So,
so
I mean, that
cool.
could be, yeah. And that can be, since I just saw these, um, bringing Thanksgiving dinners together to give to people for
Oh,
Thanksgiving,
good.
prom dresses, homecoming dresses, suits, ties, shoes, the whole works. There's a woman that started that, but the community has to donate all those things to make her charity work. So,
That is so cool.
and then from there, now that you've got it, you're making it making it as natural as breathing. Then you can use those acts of kindness in those awkward, sticky situations that aren't always so fun. But
Yeah.
you can put it into practice in a different way.
That is so cool. I love that. Coming together. I mean, I see a lot of that at my church that I go to and,
Mhm.
getting gift cards and boxes ready right now. People are donating blood and hair. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. I haven't done it yet. I feel really bad, but I was like, yeah, I'm always at the doctor's and my blood. I was like, I don't know if my blood is good. And I was like, I do need a haircut. I was like, but my hair's so dry right now. I was like, I'm trying not to come up with excuses, but I believe we're going to do a box. So I don't know why I've been so hesitant. We'll go to church. My son, he has made a decision that he wants to be a children's minister, and he's only 12. He wants to
That's
be a pro
exciting.
football player and a minister. And the little acts of kindness, when I was bringing up my
Mhm.
son, um, opening the door for people if we go into a mall or restaurant,
Mhm.
even Arby's, I think, has that little bell or whatever. Ding it. Let them
Mhm.
know they did a good job. You
Yes.
know, one of the times I thought it was so funny. Like he was so little and he, well, maybe like six, maybe, yeah, 6 years old
Yeah.
or something, because it's when the school gives them an ID card number and
Mhm.
I don't know if he was just trying to be funny or something at the restaurant, but they were asking me and the guy was eating time, do we need a beer, wine, blah, blah, blah. I need your license, blah, blah, blah number. And my son goes, I'll have a beer. And the guy goes, yeah, you have a number? And he's like, I do. And he gave his school lunch number. It's
I
like,
love it.
yeah,
I
good
love it.
try. That's not going to work for your age. But it was those little things, he just is the highlight and seeing the acts of kindness. One of them, I think the movie is called Defending the Giants, and it's a
Mhm.
Christian
Mhm.
movie
Mhm.
about football team. But one of the football teams he was on a couple years ago, our own team members were kind of getting an argument. And my son just said, that's not why we're here, guys. We come together this,
Mhm.
and he I go, "Oh my gosh, you didn't come out black and blue?" Like, to me, it's like, that's what the world has literally come to, right? But
Yes,
he
but
had no fear.
kudos to him. That takes guts, especially
It
with your
does take
peer group.
guts. Yeah, yeah,
So,
and
yeah.
younger kids, I was like,
Yes.
"Whoa, if you could do that and they're listening, you have a special gift, son." But, those are the highlights. I love watching my kids when they're succeeding and doing the things right and because it makes us as a parent feel good, right? So, yeah, definitely. But, oh, your book, is it on Audible also? I always
It's
ask
on
that.
Amazon. You can get it on Amazon.
Amazon, but, like, to listen to it, is there a reading
It is.
portion?
I do not have an audio yet. I have to work on that. That's on
Okay.
my to-do list because I've had that request before.
Yes, I'm
So
one
I
who
just
can't
have
read
to
at
do
night,
it.
but I love listening.
Yes.
So the good thing about your book, it's probably you said on Amazon, right? They can get it.
Yes.
Is it at Barnes and Noble also?
No, not at this time. No.
Okay. So the great thing about Keep Hope Alive podcast, we have a storefront too. So all the authors I've ever interviewed, I will put the book there too to help get it out
Okay.
there and stuff.
Thank you.
S- Yeah. So what kind of advice would you give people about, what's the best practices, to really help kids strive in that area?
I think the best thing to do is start before they leave the house. You know, put sticky notes on the mirror. You're
Yeah.
important. If
Oh,
they've got the big math test they've been studying for all week and they're stressing out about it, put a little note. You've got this inside their back. Just let them know that they're important. They're smart. The I love you is great, but it kind of, I'll say it's cliche to a certain extent. But let them know they are important. Let them know that they're awesome, that they're the best, that you are grateful that they are in your life.
yeah, I do that with my kiddos. When
Yes.
I take my son to school too, he came up with a word. He just says pizza. Oh, yeah. Here's his blanket. I found a pizza blanket. Let me see. Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
But it means I love you. And that is really important to us. And, when he's playing a game, he sees me jumping up and down like the mom who I'm not that crazy, but I'm just like, oh my gosh, that's my son. He's doing so good. But, if it's winning or losing, he's treated just the same no matter what. And it's
Mhm,
like I've developed even traditions to let him know that after a game, let's go to Cane's. Let's sit
mhm.
down. How's your day? It's important to do that. And my last guest I was just interviewing, we were talking about how it'd be good just to talk about the important things in their life right now.
Mhm.
And we got to get rid of cell phones, period. Just like
Oh, do we ever?
everybody ignores each other.
Yes.
So yeah, it's just crazy. So
And
I don't know.
I also have 3 questions that you can ask your kids when you're running to all those different activities they have. You can ask them in the car. You can ask them over dinner, whatever,
Yeah.
keep it casual. But ask them, what was the best thing that happened to you today? What
Yes.
was the thing that wasn't so fun today?
Yeah.
And then the final question I always say is, what made you laugh today? Because I actually think that's
Mhm.
the most telling question out of the three.
That's
Because if
probably
they're
a
not
real.
laughing
I'm
at
thinking
least
what my
once,
son would say. But that's good advice
yeah.
because yeah, it's kind of like I notice when my son will open up more to me and tell me the things that are really happening at school. It's like, what?
Mhm.
I remember elementary school. He's like, did you know kids are going under the playground and get married? I was like, what? I
Huh?
was like, they're pretending to have this marriage ceremony and they actually have divorces. Like, it's like, oh my goodness. I just remember monkey bars and playing tag.
Yes, that's what entered my mind. But yeah, I remember when my kids were little and I was a single mom. be- I always called it the show for years. We were just always in the car. And we had some of the
Yeah.
best conversations in the car.
See, yeah, I remember that. Or like, I like to leave early. It makes my son go crazy. And he's a Mom, it's like 40 minutes until, but I'm using it to talk to him and really get to know. I was like, I just go out, just want to go get some food and maybe we could go to the park and watch the sunrise or the ducks or,
Yeah,
just I want to have
yes.
a little bit more time because when you work a lot, like all week, my hours are 10
Mhm,
to 7. He's off at school in the morning. I just want that time to grab and say,
mhm,
hey, tell me about your day and stuff. But, as far as being football fans, like, yes, he wants to go pro, but I want him to see how fans act. And we're big
mhm.
Eagles fans. So, yeah, there's an Eagles nest here in town. But I taught him what it's like for a fan watching. If he's going to be pro, how
Mhm,
are they talking? How are they interacting? What are they doing? So I think it's helped build that confidence into him as
mhm.
well. And then church, I'm always like, what you learned? And he will tell me everything he learned right away. And
I
I was
love
like,
that.
that is great. Let's use that for
Yes.
something this week that we can do, So just
Mhm.
bringing that as an awareness thing out there. So, but yeah, I love that your book, I'm sure you've sold a lot of copies already. Do you have a website too?
I do have a website, journeyandkindness.com, real easy.
Okay, and we're gonna definitely add that on and everything. So I'm trying to also, you know, um, I was reading over your profile and I guess there are a lot of troubled teens out there, and mental health
Mhm.
seems to be the biggest thing, which, I hate talking about this. I really do.
Yeah.
Depression taking your life,
Anxiety.
violence, anxiety, depression. Yes.
Mhm,
And it's just, it's so mind boggling that kids this age
mhm.
can go through this. And I was out with a friend. We were listening to 80s music, and he goes, do you know what this song is really about? And I'm just thinking it's an 80s song. And he was like, it's about a mom, and the kid is singing, keep the noise down because they were always fighting. And I was like, oh, and for the
Yeah.
first time, I was like, man, we're bringing
Mhm.
awareness back in the 80s about this, and it's just like, even though it's that catchy tune that you always sing to, I had a real story. So, but, those little things to bring out. But, really quick, I don't know if I'm going to try to show you it the best I can, talking
Mhm.
about depression and everything. Have you ever seen these bracelets on Facebook? They're called snap
Oh, I
bands.
haven't seen those
This
yet.
one says hope, okay? And
Oh,
on the
I love
back
it.
of it, it has an elastic band, and you
Mhm.
just take it out. And mine's hope. I hope I have a wonderful week and nothing breaks on my car. Yeah, that's like so. But what this does, it's a proven scientific fact. It helps with anxiety and
Mhm.
having depression, PTSD. It helps re-trigger that thought. I also heard that this helps with sleep too. So I
Oh,
was like, okay, well, I got
oh.
this. I've been wearing mine for 2 years and I love it. And they have all different mantra words, peace. They just came out with faith, which I love. And if
Oh,
you went
I
on
love
to their
that.
website, that code is KHA for Keep Hope Alive. You get the word faith, but they come in different colors and everything. A lot of the kids are wearing these to school too.
Oh,
So it's like the new
good.
happening trend for snap bands. But just to know that that is the main focus on making the world a better place and making it better out there. And they give portions to different I can't talk today. Different organizations out there to help with this too. But you can visit them at www.snapbands.com. It is spelled SNAPPBANDZ.com. So, yeah. Anyways, I gotta throw that out there really quick. That was just fun. I love snap bands, but yeah. So, with the violence, I have you ever had anybody? I read your book, but
Mhm.
my kid, it's just not working. Have you ever got much feedback on that?
Yeah,
And
I think the biggest, if you truly are in touch with your child and you see something serious, please go get professional help.
yes,
Don't
yes,
hesitate. Go do that immediately. Um, Kindness, helping them, directing them to do acts of kindness does, and there's studies with this too, does help reduce the stress level, reduce the anxiety level, reduce the depression. It does help. So if you get your child in the habit
yeah,
of doing acts of kindness, that will help all of those things as well. But if you
yes.
truly, I truly strongly recommend professional help if you are definitely seeing some warning signs.
Yeah, the warning signs and stuff. And,
Yes.
that is always hard because our
It is hard.
kids, even when they turn adults, it's
Mhm.
like I can't do much
Yes.
anymore as a parent. If a
Yes.
kid was 23, 24, and, you notice a red flag, I'm not going to take care of it. And then you're trying to be that parent to be like, well, try this and this and this, then you
Right.
hear, no, mom. I love that saying, no, mom.
Yeah.
It's
No, Mom.
like,
I get that too. Don't worry.
yeah, yeah. And I was going to mention earlier, even sometimes when I say I love you, I get, okay. I was like, okay. I was like, do you love me too? Oh, yeah, but you should know that already. I was like, man, okay, times have changed out here.
I
So,
am blessed. My both of my sons who are in their 30s both still, if I say I love you, they say, "Oh, Mom, I love you too."
oh, yeah, yeah, definitely. It is so important, to always be there. So, what other goals are you working on? Are you moving forward and
I
writing any other books or
the second book, this one came out of me doing teaching the kindness straight along, and then people
yeah,
are like, "Write it down, write it down." I'm like, "Okay,
I
we'll
know,
do
yeah.
that." And so there may be a second book muddling around right now. I'm just promoting this one, and I love getting out and talking, speaking to groups, your
Good.
PTOs. I actually even did a Rotary Club, so it doesn't really matter, clubs or
Good.
organizations, businesses, because you have to spread kindness in every aspect of your life.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't
Business
just limit
too.
it. Business too.
Yes.
How many times have you been in that room and you have a sticky situation and you're yelling and yelling at each other or talking very distinctly and nothing's getting resolved?
Yeah. That
And
was
you're
my
like,
old job. So I'm in a good job right now and I love it because everybody is kind to each other and they keep it alive. And I'm just like, I'm blown away. I'm like, because the past jobs that I've ever been in, yeah, there was a lot of stickiness and a lot of
yeah,
people just not happy. But going out and helping businesses gain that back, that's
mhm.
really good. So,
That's- it's huge just because this is my greatest job ever. I would just tell you that. How fun is it to go out and talk about kindness all day, every day?
yeah,
There's no
that is
better
the
job,
best thing.
in my opinion. There just isn't any better job.
I love that. Yeah, because it's you. It's your
Mhm,
energy and talking about a topic that you're so passionate about. It makes
mhm.
it fun and rewarding in life. So you got it made. That's how I look at it. I've had people go, "Why are you doing this podcast?" And they go, "You don't get paid anything." I go, "I don't want to be paid for God's work." I go,
Mhm.
"That doesn't
Yes.
faze me. This is God's work." So I'm here to help people hear from other people who can relate to their story and learn and move on. It's my pay it forward, right? So,
It is. And God put this on my heart so many years ago. And
yeah,
he's just Ephesians 4:32, be kind and compassionate to each other. He's telling
yes,
us
yes,
to do this. So, and then in Philippians 4:5, he says, can everyone see your kindness? And
That's a good
that was
question.
huge for me. Yeah, that was huge for me. Uh, Somebody brought that up recently. I'm like, ooh, wow, that's a good one.
See, I'm so kind to people. I am a free spirit. I just get along with everybody. And I think
Mhm.
it was a few weeks ago, this guy, I think he's mad just in general at life or whatever, because I
Yeah.
do karaoke. And of course, karaoke is only held in different, but I remember he just yelled at me and I didn't decide to even argue back. And he is like, I'm not going to sit next to you. I was like, in my head, I'm trying not to laugh. I was like, but he walked around the whole area. There was nowhere to sit. And he comes and he sticks out his hand. Hi, I'm so and so. Nice to meet you. And I'm like, go sit down and play with your video game that you were playing. I mean, like, I felt like I was being a mom because, how do you go from yelling at somebody for no reason and then realizing you have nowhere else to go? And then it's kind of like, I say karma came around in that circle really fast. But, I try to be nice to everybody. And, I just I don't know. I guess when I was growing up, I was very quiet, I feel like, at school. And then when I was a teenager, I would don't wanna we had about 10 close friends, but for some of them, they stayed together and some have drifted off, is what I noticed with school. But now that I'm out there, again, the friends I've made have helped me got better to that level to make friends. And I'm going to say this online. I haven't even told my new friend. I have a new friend. Her name is Christy. She's a sweetheart. But she came at a time in my life where I didn't even know if I wanted to have a new friend because my friend died 2 years ago and I'm
Oh,
still grieving her loss. We would talk
mm,
every day on the phone for like 2 years, and I'm like, I'm not used to this. And that friend, her name was Charity. So the one thing I will see a phone call from Christy, and my brain thinks it says Charity, but they both have the same energy. I love them both the same. It's just like, I was like, okay, okay, God, we're going to go through this, and I want to have a good friend. Again, Charity will always be my friend. She's just up in heaven right now. So, it's like, but moving forward and taking those steps. And, I think even with kids, when they go through processes and if they lose somebody too, they can't shut down. I did an interview with somebody. You remember all the good things about them, you
mhm.
know, try to put that smile because that's what they want to see also is that you're remembering the good things and not just crying and dwelling that they are gone because their legacy needs to live on too. So,
Yes,
yeah,
yes. And remember, kids grieve differently than adults.
they do.
It's not, they might just be off running and playing, but in the back of their mind, it's there. So do be open to that when
Okay, that's
grieving.
good to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's something, even as my parents get older, I'm at the age of 46 right now, and I love both of my parents, but still, it doesn't matter. Like, oh, when this day comes, it's going to hurt me, if they
Mhm.
go. And then I was just like, okay, but don't think about it. They're here now. But then you always get scared if they have a health issue, and it's like, ugh, okay. But, how is my kiddo gonna process that? How am I processing that? So yeah, there is different levels. I see where you said
Absolutely.
that and everything. So yeah, that should be in your next book and next book. I
Oh,
was
okay.
like,
Okay.
girl, I'm gonna make you write a lot of
Forgive.
books.
Well, people keep talking to me about forgiveness. And I said, ooh, that's a touchy one. But yeah, I can do that one. That may be up next too. We'll see
Oh,
where it goes.
yeah. Yeah, that'd be really cool. Okay, so when you're not doing talking, you said you like to kayak. Where have you
I love
kayaked?
the kayak. There is, I live in Cincinnati, Ohio, and there's the Little Miami
Nice.
River real close, like not even 10 minutes away. I can go.
Cool.
I usually
I've
make my
never
I
been.
usually make my sons come with me. That's our adult. bonding time.
You see, I wish I could do that. I'm such a klutz. I feel like I was sitting in the boat and it flip over. I think it's because I sat in a hammock and it did that, and I was like,
Oh,
like, I
well, you
know.
noticed I said I make my sons come with me, so that doesn't
Yes.
happen.
Okay. Let me guess, you're in the middle, and I would have the 2 sons on either
Yes,
side. I love that. Yes.
yeah, it's
I'm
true.
trying to do they fish? Because I know my son wants to do fishing all the time, but I
Mhm.
won't touch a slimy fish,
Oh no.
and
Yeah, I'm not into fishing. They do a little. My sister and her husband have a lake house up in Michigan, and sometimes they'll
okay,
fish there, but it's not their end all be all of life by any means. Thank
gotcha.
goodness.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, but that sounds so cool. It's so relaxing and everything. Oh my.
It
So
is. I love
yeah, I'm trying to see if I covered everything with you. I mean, we're getting
it.
ready to change the world by doing the motivational speaking. I'm sure schools. Have you
Yeah.
been to any of like this senior citizen places?
I
Like,
have not to speak. I have. I did it. It's been a few years ago. There was a local senior nursing home, and we
yeah.
got the first names of each resident. And I had a group of kids write a note to Dear Sally and put
Oh,
Sally on the outside. And then we took that and we took some goodies with us and the notes for the residents. I did that a few
oh,
years ago. Yeah.
that is so
So
awesome. They love
yeah,
that too.
just
I
just
w
yeah.
I was yeah, whenever they see something coming from somebody else, that smile on their face
Mhm.
just radiates, and it's like, "Oh, I just love
And
it," you know?
and it was personalized. I think that's one of the things that they really
Yeah.
enjoyed too.
Yeah, yeah.
I did before I forget. I do have a free gift for your
Yeah,
listeners
okay,
too.
good.
It is, and I'll send you the link for this as well. It is 75 acts of kindness you can do with your children. So it's kind of a way to get you started. If you don't know where to start with acts of kindness, this is a little 75 ways, and you just pick one and start going through them.
Oh,
So I
nice.
will
They're gonna
do
love
that.
that. So we'll put that on our Facebook page. Of course, I send it on my Facebook page too, which has a lot. But yeah, we're gonna get that out there and
Yeah,
we'll get the winner over to you and everything. So that's amazing. Thank you. That is, of course, very kind. That's awesome. And I love your shirt. And I was
oh,
like,
yeah. Did you see it?
Is
Did
there
you see
more
it?
to it? God-sized dreams. Girl power. I love it. I gotta
This is
ask her
one of my
about it.
favorites. One of my favorites, and it is some.
Uh,
I peddle these on the side too. This is another side gig I do.
oh, nice, nice. Because I gotta talk to you more about that then, because I reached out to a company that has different sweaters and hoodies. It's like
Mhm.
blessed, and I was like, I love it. You know, it's just like I wish I had somebody who can make these clothes and we get it out there and give it to the world too. So yeah.
Yes.
But that is wonderful. I wanna say thank you so much for okay, we got your website, right?
Yes, and I'll resend it all to you so you've got it.
Oh, girl, I gotcha. So but definitely. So remember, guys, you can find her book on our storefront at www Keep Hope Alive podcasts. And thank you to our sponsors, Life on Record and Snap Bands. And if you ever wanted to become a guest on our show, there is a guest intake form you can fill out. And we're always open to new stories. I think we're going into season 20 almost for Keep Hope Alive. So we're doing pretty good out there. And you know what? It is keeping that energy, that love, that light, and having, like Teresa Ramirez here on our show. It's just been wonderful to learn about your book and what you do. And I love the kayaking story because I mean, that's something I had to put in consideration because I know my son's going to be saying that pretty soon. So, but anyways, thank you so much for coming on, and I hope you have a wonderful holiday because Thanksgiving's right next week? I think it's
Next week. Wait,
is it
where are we?
next
No,
week?
it isn't. It's a
2 weeks?
week from Thursday.
Oh, it's
So
coming, and then
not quite 2 weeks.
Okay, so we have more time.
Yeah.
It's like I'm trying to plan
I
the
was like, oh,
Christmas
is it next
list.
week? Is it this
I was like,
week?
it's every day. Every day's a Friendsgiving, Thanksgiving kind of day.
That's true. Very true. And thank you so much for having me. This has been a lot of fun.
Oh, thank you so much. Well, until next time, guys, I hope everybody has a great week, a great holiday. Mwah. Love and light. Bye bye.